Hola muchachos, you are listening to English Made Simple. This is episode 22, número 22. Hola amigos, welcome to another episode of English Made Simple. I am your host, your weona, Milena. Wow, it rhymes, weona, Milena. Oh my goodness. Welcome to episode 22, 22. Woohoo! I also wish I was 22 again. You know, I wish I was 22 years old. Me gustaría tener 22, pero ya fue, ya no es posible. This is not a pity party, Milena. Esto no es una fiesta triste. Let's move on. Let's learn some English with IELTS. How exciting! Right, that's exciting for you, Milena. Okay, so in the first part of the Learn to Speak English with IELTS, episode 21, it was all about introduction. Introducing yourself. Say something about yourself. What you do. Are you a student? Do you currently work? What do you do in general? You should be able to answer these type of questions. Radio. If you just joined this show, if this is the first time you're listening to the show, welcome. You can go back to episode 21, listen to that first, and then come back and listen to this one. Excellent. Before I begin, guys, let me remind you to download the free ebook from my website, englishmadesimple.net. It will help you with your IELTS. You can avoid some common mistakes made by Hispanoparlantes, the Spanish speakers. So you just go online and download your free ebook. Let's start now. Enough of gibberish. Just to give you an idea, IELTS has 3 parts to speaking exam. Part 1 we covered in my previous episode. Part 2, you have to describe something. And I kind of touched on this part 2 when I mentioned describe your favorite teacher, right? I will expand a little bit more on part 2 of speaking. Part 3 is all about giving your opinion, right? And I will also talk about that in this episode, and I'll give you an example of how you can give your opinion. Radio, let's start. Part 2 of IELTS speaking. It involves cue cards. What is a cue card? Cue, what do you mean by that, Milena? Cue means it's a sign, a reminder, a prompt, an indication. In Spanish, it means, cue card would mean es una tarjeta recordatoria, una tarjeta indicativa. So the card gives you some sort of indication what you will have to talk about for 2 minutes. So that's all you have, 2 minutes to speak about a certain topic. I would recommend you time yourself. Have a timer next to you when you're practicing. Have a timer or timer. When you're practicing for 2 minutes, you should train yourself to speak for 2 minutes. And the questions you can practice with, you can find them online. You can find example questions online. Simply search for IELTS Part 2 Speaking. You will receive a lot of questions that you can use for your practice. Then try to answer them with a timer. Try not to go over 2 minutes. This is how you train yourself to answer this question within specified time frame. The cue card will have 3 questions on it. Describe something. Why do you like it? When did you buy it, for example? There could be other type of questions. Make sure you answer these questions. Before you start to speak, you will have 1 minute to prepare your answer. So you can put some keywords on the cue card. You can write on the cue card. So remember that. You can put some keywords. You can answer those questions. Remember, guys, there is no wrong or right answer. So you can lie. Puedes mentir. It's awesome. You can lie. Example. Remember how in the previous episode I gave you an example of my favorite teacher, like Mr. Iglesias, right? Enrique Iglesias. That's my favorite teacher, right? I just made him up. Enrique Iglesias. He's not my teacher. So let's continue, guys. Here are some tips for answering part 2 of IELTS. When you receive your card, before you answer the question, remember to say things like, I have been asked to talk about my favorite teacher, for example. So introduce the topic that way. It's like you're talking to the interviewer. They don't know what the topic is, so you just want to tell them, I have been asked to talk about. I have been given this question to talk about my favorite teacher. The topic I have been given is about my favorite teacher. Then answer the question straight away. Give 2 reasons for your answer. If you don't have 2 reasons, find any reason. Provide examples. It could be from your personal experience, or if you don't know it, try to make it up. Try to remember, maybe you saw something on TV, maybe your friend had an experience, so just use that as an example. I hope that's a little bit clear. Now let's move on to part 3 of IELTS, speaking. Yes, part 3 of IELTS is usually related with the part 2 of IELTS. So if they ask you to describe your favorite teacher, then part 3 will be about education. The topic will be about education and so on. I asked one of my students to provide tips for us, que nos diese algunos tips. What can we do to answer this part of speaking successfully? In this part, you have to be able to give opinion. In this section, there is also no right or wrong answer. Again, you can lie. This is where we are required to give an opinion about a certain topic. We need to be able to explain why we agree or disagree with something, whatever is being asked of us. The opposite of agree is disagree. The questions you could get, for example, it could be about the internet, technology, education, family, health, society, travel, nature, and work, and so on. Let's use work as an example. Here's a question as an example where we have to give an opinion. The question goes like this. Do you think job satisfaction is more important than salary when choosing a job? Okay, so do you think job satisfaction is more important than salary when choosing a job? And here is my answer. In my opinion, job satisfaction is more important when I'm choosing a job. Well, normally higher paying jobs with higher salary are usually stressful because they come with a lot of responsibilities and accountabilities. Often jobs that have high responsibilities can be stressful, which consequently impacts my job satisfaction if it becomes so stressful that I can't enjoy my job. Right, that's my kind of long-winded answer. If you don't have an answer straight away, you can buy yourself time. To buy time basically is an expression, and according to weona inteligente, which is Cambridge Dictionaries Online, it means to do something in order to allow yourself more time. So for your IELTS, what you can do, if you can't answer the question straight away, you need to think some more. You can use something called redundant phrases. Like, for example, well, that's an interesting question. I've never really thought about that before, but I guess I would have to say that I agree or I disagree. I just want to point out, I've noticed a lot of Hispanoparlantes, Spanish speakers, say, I am agree. Never say, I am agree, because that's not correct in English. I know that in Spanish, it's yo estoy de acuerdo. Many Spanish speakers make this mistake. In English, we simply say, I agree. We have a subject plus verb, I agree. Excellent. Remember that. Here are some more tips to answer the part 2 and part 3 questions. Make sure you stick to the topic. Don't go off the topic. If they ask you about education, don't talk about your favorite movie, okay? Stick to the topic of education. Make sure you answer the question that they ask you. I know it sounds very simple, but when you're nervous, you probably forget. Alright guys, I think that's it for this episode. All transcriptions are available on my website, englishmadesimple.net. If you have any questions in regards to today's episode, please let me know in the Facebook group English Made Simple, or you can send me an email through my website. This podcast is for you guys to learn, and I'm here to help you learn. So let's do this together. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to have you in my next episode. Thank you guys. Good luck, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.